Hey, what's going on, you guys? Major Dragon here, and real quick before the video starts, I want to let you guys know about some big news. As you guys might have seen from the short or the Discord, I have now released new merchandise on my brand new store. It's a big achievement that I'm really proud of, so if you guys want to go check it out down below, it's really awesome. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to go check out the store, maybe buy some merchandise, and also be prepared for December, as I'm also planning on releasing some Christmas merch, which will be limited edition, but we'll talk more about that later on when we get closer to it. And thank you all so much for the support, I really do appreciate it. So let's get into the video. Make sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos never before seen on YouTube. And don't forget to also check out the memberships on my channel page to join and gain access to perks and see videos early. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and be notified of new videos. All the support goes to the production of the channel for better content. Now let's get into the video. What is going on, you guys? Major Dragon here, and real quick before the video starts, I want to thank you guys so much for 15,000 subscribers. I'm glad we were able to break this before the end of the year. It really means a lot to me. You guys are the best, so I hope you guys enjoy this new series. What is going on, you guys? Major Dragon here, and today is a very special time for me to tell you guys something very important. Two things. Today, as you guys have noticed by the length of the video, I've decided to give you guys a little Christmas present. I've decided to make a super long what if. This time, it'll be roughly 30 to 40 minutes by the time I'm recording this video. Because of this is going to be one part only. So, one other thing is I'm thinking about changing my upload schedule. As you guys know, I always post at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I believe that most of you guys are at school during that time or at work, respectively. So I'm deciding to think about changing it to 3 p.m. So by the time you get home from work or you're home from school, you can watch the videos. Because of this, I will be posting a poll on my community page. By the time this video will be up, you will see it. Go vote on that and tell me, is that what you guys want? Instead of 10 a.m., it's 3 p.m. so you guys can see it when you get home from work or from school. Let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoy this super long video. It took me ages to do this, but you guys deserve it. It's a little Christmas present for me to you. Also, be on the lookout for new merchandise that are coming out. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy the video. Our story last ended with Son Goku defeating the likes of Raditz, and Vegeta and Nappa are soon on their way. But they did arrive a year late. Now, the same events as before, Raditz would start to really adjust to the planet Earth, as remember, he's been there for over a year or so. After the training with King Kai, this would greatly change Son Goku's prowess. Remember, Goku here knows he has God Ki, as he does have it within him, but he never utilized the power truly. Until he met King Kai, who very quickly noticed that he's not normal. As we know with God Ki in the show, it is pure energy, not tainted by mortal affairs, as this God Ki even has healing properties and more. King Kai would do his very best to help Son Goku learn this, even utilizing the help of other Kais. So Goku's training was completely different from Raditz, as Goku, with his way higher potential, was very quickly able to catch on to King Kai's training. He already learned Kaioken, and he learned the Spirit Bomb very quickly. Raditz would stay at King Kai to train and grow stronger than ever, so he would utilize King Kai's full training. Goku here would have actually left to the other world, as I feel like King Yama would allow him access to go there, even though he's not dead. Goku would go there and train with the other Kais, even the Grand Kai, learning to harness his power. There, he would even meet the likes of Pikkon, and they would have an intense battle. But sadly, Goku would lose against this version of Pikkon, as Pikkon, though is a little bit weaker, is still around the same strength as Super Saiyan Goku was when he fought Cell, which is hundreds and hundreds of times stronger than this current Goku, or thousands. Goku would lose, but his potential during that fight would grow his power massively. Over a year would pass during his training, once when Vegeta and Nappa arrive. This is where things are going to take a massive turn. As Goku and Raditz would arrive on time, the same as before, they would not have the Z-Fighters be KO'd by the Cybermen or Nappa, so they would not have a reason to use the Dragon Balls to go to Namek, since Piccolo never died. Now, during this time as well with Gohan, Gohan actually has more time to train with Piccolo, as once when they learn about the Saiyans, they have a year to almost 2 years to train, which is way more time than the original. This is a bit more heartbroken for Chi-Chi, as Gohan was duller longer, but I feel like after a year or so, Piccolo would let him go home for a little bit. But Gohan is way more mature here, having almost 2 years of training and surviving on his own. He's a little bit more like his father, as he has more of an acceptance to training. Let me explain. Gohan here only trained out of necessity, and he was kind of thrown into it, and he knew that as a young child that he had no choice because the Earth was doomed. But Gohan here was surviving on his own for 2 more years. That gives him more time to enjoy training and to kind of enjoy his Saiyan heritage. This also gives him a stronger relationship with Piccolo, as they have had more time to be together, so him and Piccolo are way closer friends, and Piccolo does regard him as one. This version of Piccolo is also a lot more powerful. Even with Gohan's potential, Gohan is able to actually keep up and fight with Piccolo pretty evenly, giving Piccolo a really good training partner. Gohan here has mastered most of Piccolo's techniques. Gohan here has even mastered the special beam cannon, which of course is a very high level technique, but he is his father's son, so he was very quickly able to learn this. Gohan would have still turned into a grade ape during the year's time of training in the beginning, but he would have lost his tail. Gohan would have had a small little camp, and Gohan would have been running around the forest, helping out friends and helping out people in need. He would also meet the small forces of the Red Ribbon Army, but they're very small factions of them, and Gohan would very quickly take them out. He would also help around with villages and help around, as Gohan would travel far around the planet. He would actually meet Ader alongside with the other humans, as well as Android 8 is an android from the Red Ribbon Army that of course Goku helped out in the beginning. Gohan would help them out and help people out that are in need. Gohan here would also continue meeting people and fighting new adversaries, and growing more powerful and more stronger. This version of Gohan is also not as whiny as his original self. Training with Piccolo for longer, Gohan's more of a warrior now than before, so he's not as easily terrified of certain things as he was as a young child. This version of Gohan's a bit more mature and way more powerful. Now, if we were to go over power levels for each character, that can definitely go up into the air for you. As we know, each version of the Dragon Ball character greatly increases their strength, especially with the likes of training. Now, from what we do know, Gohan, not saying exact numbers, during the Saiyan Saga had a power level of around 1,000 to 2,000, roughly. Part of the fact that he trained for a year longer, and he's training even harder than before, Gohan has gotten a lot more powerful, alongside with Piccolo. Gohan and Piccolo both have a power level of over 10,000, evening out to 10 to 12,000 for both of them. This also gives the humans more time to train, so for Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha and Chaozu, they would have plenty more time to train under Kami. Now because of this, their power would rise as well, as their power, not as high as Gohan and Piccolo because they're pushing each other, their power level will go from the 1 to 2,000 range, it would spike up to maybe 4 to 6,000. So maybe Tien and Krillin are near power levels of 6,000. And they've learned to master the techniques even more. Once when Vegeta and Nappa would arrive, Goku and Raditz would arrive a few minutes later. As remember, they had to get from King Kai's world all the way back to King Yama, but they would get there much quicker. This is where the biggest change of Dragon Ball is going to occur for everybody. As this version of Goku, he had a power level of 8,000 in the original when he fought Vegeta and Nappa. This version of Goku, even before leaving to the other world, had a power level of a few thousand. Not to mention the fact that he was able to harness his god energy has given him a ginormous boost in power for his base form only. And we will talk about Raditz very shortly. Son Goku here has gone from power level of around a few thousand. Let's say by the time that he finished King Kai's training, he had a power level of around 12,000. Because King Kai's training helped him a lot, but it didn't boost his god energy. So having a power level of 12,000, Goku could have gotten hundreds and hundreds of times stronger, because of the god energy boosts his potential far more than anything else, and he's getting Zenkais fighting very powerful beings such as Pikkon. This version of Goku here, fighting alongside, has gotten 200 times stronger, which of course would give him a massive power level of around 2.5 million. I know, but this is base Goku here. Goku is on the verge of unlocking his god energy, and he's starting to learn to harness it. This is base form version of Goku. Now this version of Goku does not have the likes of Super Saiyan God, of course, but he's able to access his god essence power. If you guys don't know what that is, Son Goku used it against Frieza when they fought in the Resurrection F movie. It was a white aura to where he harnessed the power of his god form. So for this version of Goku, with his god essence form, we don't have an official multiplier for the form. But you could argue that wouldn't it necessarily be a massive boost in power? Is it technically the same multiplier as Super Saiyan God? You can argue that yes and no. I'm going to say it's probably half the power of God, of a Super Saiyan God, of course. Now, we don't know the official multiplier for a Super Saiyan God. It's never been confirmed. Some say it's 1,000. Some say it's 100,000, 1,000,000, 100 million. But it's completely up for debate. I'm going to say for Super Saiyan God is a 10,000 times multiplier, which is severely lowballing the form, I know, attacking the comments. But half of that is 5,000. So Son Goku having a power level of 2.4 million, using that times 2.4 million times 5,000 would give him a power level of around 12 billion. This would make Goku's form far more powerful than the likes of Cell and possibly Super Saiyan 2 Gohan as well, already in the Saiyan saga. As we know, the power levels are iffy past the Frieza arc, but we have people who have detailed accounts of written of what the power levels would be, and Cell and Gohan would be a few billion, Majin Buu potentially being 30 billion to etc. So Goku is around half the strength of Majin Buu, which is completely insane. So this is his base form with some God essence, not his true Super Saiyan God form. Goku by this point is far stronger than Vegeta and Nappa. Goku does not interfere with the battle, as Raditz says that he wants to do this. Now with King Kai's training, we know that Goku got 18.8 times stronger with King Kai's training. So if Raditz trained, that was only for 3 months, as we know. Only for 3 months. So you could do the multipliers and break down how much it would actually be. So once when Raditz trains there for over a year, this would basically mean that he gets 75 times stronger. Now, he technically trained there for 2 years straight, but you can take a few months off, but let's just say that it equals out. So if Raditz will travel around King Kai's world and train for over 2 years, and remember, King Kai can also add weights to increase their training as he did this with Goku. This would mean that Raditz got 150 times stronger. So, adding that to his power level of 1,500, he would have a power level of 225,600, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's possible, as the numbers have shown, and with Raditz's potential being Goku's family and his brother, I think that Raditz would have similar potential to Goku. Raditz does not have God Ki, remember this, but Goku's a lot more powerful. So, with that said, Raditz having a power level of 225,000, he would have easily defeated Vegeta and Nappa. Even alleviating his boredom, he would let them transform into a great ape, of course with Vegeta using the fake moon. Raditz has kept his tail, but he just won't look up at the moon, and he would still easily defeat them to prove his point, that they're not stronger than him. The fight would be very intense, as Vegeta would instantly tap his scouter, reading a power level of around 10,000 looking at Raditz. Vegeta would then laugh and say that this is, it's pretty impressive, but it's not stronger than him. But he was definitely shocked though, alongside Nappa. Nappa would think it's a joke as he would fly in to attack Raditz, but Raditz would waste no time and instantly kick Nappa into a pile of rocks, knocking the rock tower on top of him. Nappa would then get up with his armor damaged and bleeding already. He was furious that this is impossible. He would then charge up a massive attack from his mouth and fire right at Raditz, who would then just glance over at Nappa and smack it away with a finger. Nappa was utterly shocked by this. He would fly in delivering combos to Raditz, but Raditz wouldn't even dodge or move, as he would take the attack smirking at Nappa. He would then grab his hand, and then gut punch Nappa right into the air and fire a massive ki attack, killing Nappa, completely obliterating him. Vegeta was utterly shocked to see how easily Nappa was defeated, but his power level was 12,000. He's still stronger than that. He could definitely take on Raditz. Goku would not interfere, as Raditz told him before that when the Saiyans arrive, It is his fight only, and Goku would respect this as it is his brother's wish. The Z Fighters would then watch in awe, as Vegeta, running out of options, would actually plant Cybermen, and Raditz knows this. Raditz is not concerned, maybe can alleviate some boredom. Even with the Cybermen planted, Vegeta to kind of dodge Raditz or maybe kind of distract people, the Cybermen would get easily killed either by Raditz or by Gohan or Piccolo. Cybermen would have no chance. And then, Vegeta would then fly in attacking Raditz full force, as Raditz would easily dodge his attacks. Vegeta's Scouter would continue to rise as Raditz was showing more of his power. As it would reach past 30,000, it would then explode. Vegeta was furious. There was no way this low-class Saiyan was able to be more powerful than him. There's no way. Vegeta would then continue to attack Raditz, doing everything that he had, but Raditz would just smirk, dodging every single attack and easily tanking them as well, mocking Vegeta, telling him that with hard work and training, anybody can become stronger than you. You're not a prince. This would damage his pride, as Vegeta would then jump into the air and charge up a full-power Gallic gun. With this charge up happening, he would then fire it right towards Raditz, which Raditz would then smack away with ease. Vegeta was utterly shocked. How is this possible? There's no way that he deflected his Gallic gun like that. Vegeta would not give up as he would continue to attack. Raditz would then gut punch him, destroying most of his armor and knocking Vegeta to the floor, as Vegeta had almost a hole in his stomach as he was starting to die. But Goku can just feel something with Vegeta, as they've already killed somebody, Nappa. Why are they going to kill him? There's been enough killing today, and there's no need to kill him. As Goku would then stop Raditz, saying no, let him go. Raditz would be adamant about it, but Goku says if he tries anything, you can stop him anyway. We both can. Raditz would then understand what his brother's wishes, and he understands. He can't fight Goku for it anyway. Vegeta would then wake up in the hospital. Location, Capsule Corp, where Bulma was keeping a really good eye on him, making sure he doesn't escape. Vegeta here has special locks on him to make sure he doesn't kind of break out and go crazy, as this was technology that Bulma made to basically hold down Vegeta if he ever tries to go crazy and kill people. And it worked out really well, as it's powered by energy, and he's far too weak right now to even fight against the cuffs anyway to hold him down. It would be a very odd relationship, as Vegeta would deny anything that Bulma does to him or anything like that, and Bulma sees him as a rude asshole. But over time, she would start to like Vegeta, as he's kind of a bad boy, but she would start to fall in love with him. As Vegeta would fully recover by this point from the massive damage that he sustained, he's a lot more powerful. This version of Vegeta, you can lowball and say that he got around 2 times stronger, so given a power level of 18,000 times 2 would be around 36,000. So being around 36,000, he is already as strong as his Namek self. Now, what about Frieza? If you guys remember, the transmission was brought out for the Dragon Balls. This means that Frieza knows, and Frieza's already at Namek as we speak. There's one issue though. This version of Frieza has collected all the Dragon Balls with the help of his men. Nail would sadly pass away, and even the likes of Dende would sadly pass away. But the difference here is Frieza did not know that you needed the language to speak for the Dragon Balls. He never knew. Because of this, Elder Guru's heart would be broken. The only reason why Elder Guru held on so close to his passing was because he wanted the Z Fighters to fight back against Frieza. That's the reason why he held on. But since there is nobody fighting, there's nobody helping his people, Elder Guru would pass away. Right when Frieza was going to make a wish, before he could even try summoning the dragon, he would then fly over to Elder Guru and command that he would tell him the secret code to use the Dragon Balls. Elder Guru would then tell Frieza about what he did to his people, and Elder Guru would then disappear, passing away. His men would then shout at Frieza, as Frieza would then turn around and see that the Dragon Balls have turned fully into stone. Frieza's anger could not be contained. He would let out a scream as his aura would shake all of planet Namek, and he would instantly shoot a death beam, killing a few of his men in anger. His tail would then slap the ground, making a large crater, as he would then look at his men and tell them, "We need to find more of these wishing orbs." They stated on planet Earth that there was wishing orbs too. Let's go to planet Earth and let's find these wishing orbs, as I will have my immortality. Frieza would then get into his ship with seething anger, and they would then go on their way to Earth. Now, as we know, this will take a few weeks to arrive, as Frieza's ship is a lot bigger and I would assume is a bit slower, so it would take him a few more weeks' time for him to even arrive. Now, remembering here, Raditz still gave Bulma his scouter the same as before, all the time ago. Bulma has it to see communications within the universe, as she's grateful for it, alongside with the other space pods as well. Bulma is able to go up in outer space now, and see intergalactic things. Bulma would then hear across the intercoms of these men in the Frieza Empire planning on heading right to Earth. Vegeta, who was training in the version of the gravity room, as remember, Bulma got the idea from, of course, the King Kai training, and she would add it on, so Vegeta's training in that. Vegeta would be terrified that Frieza's on his way to Earth. By this point, Kakarot, Goku, was alongside with Raditz, and they're at Chi-Chi's home. Raditz has actually gotten really close to a woman named Launch, and they've actually started liking each other and talking recently. So Raditz actually has his own home nearby, as he's actually staying in his old grandfather's house, Grandpa Gohan's home, for the time being, as he wants to build his own home and live near his brother. Now, Gohan actually has a good relationship with Raditz, as it's his big uncle, and Piccolo is kind of adamant about Raditz, but he respects him as a warrior. Gohan here, back to seeing his father. Gohan was enjoying his time and having a great life. Chi-Chi was happier than ever, having both Goku and his scary older brother too, but Raditz seems like a nice man, and Launch seems happy, so why are they going to be mad about that? Goku would continue training as his per usual self, mostly getting into farming now too, as that's what Chi-Chi wants him to get a job. But knowing Goku's educational issues, farming might be the best option, which Raditz might even try doing his own hand in. Well, Raditz kind of adamant about it, but Goku says it's fun to do. Raditz just prefers training himself though, he's a bit of a Saiyan warrior. Gohan would still continue to study, as Chi-Chi was very adamant about it, saying that he needs to catch up. So Gohan did not do too much training during this time. His power level would stay roughly about the same at around 10 to 12,000, because he would not get rusty like before. He would do slight workouts with his father, as Chi-Chi would allow that, of course. Now, this is when Vegeta would then fly full force, landing right at Goku's house. Goku and Raditz would have gone outside to see what Vegeta wants, as Vegeta was desperate, and he would tell them about Lord Frieza. This would make Raditz's blood go cold, as Raditz knows how terrifying Lord Frieza is, and Vegeta would then explain to them what Frieza is, who he is, mainly to Goku, and that he's heading right towards Earth, and he'll be here within a few weeks' time. And they need to do something about it, or else, if Frieza shows up, he'll kill everybody, and if he gets the Dragon Balls, he'll get his wish to become immortal. Goku was surprised by this Frieza guy, but he sounds really strong. You might as well fight him. Vegeta would then yell at him that that's not the point. The point is that Frieza's on his way here, you fool. They would then begin their training, as Goku doesn't really have that much options to help him, but Vegeta would then tell Kakarot to train with him at once, and even his little brother can join, as they all need to get as strong as possible. They can use the gravity room. So Goku, Raditz, and Vegeta would all train together. Vegeta's already used to very high gravity, training in well over 100 to 200 times gravity, no problem. Goku and Raditz would very quickly catch up, as they would all continue to train and grow more powerful than before. Now Raditz would actually get the biggest boost here, getting way more powerful, as 2 weeks would pass. Once when the Z Fighters heard about Frieza coming, they would continue training. Piccolo would take Gohan and even train him as well, so Gohan made sure his senses were sharp for what's coming. Then the day would come, they can sense Frieza arriving on planet Earth, with a few of his spaceships with thousands upon thousands of soldiers, as his men would then fly right off to go on the search for the Dragon Balls, but they would very quickly be stopped by the Earthlings. With Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu and the others, they would then all attack the warriors and destroy them all, knocking them out back and forth. As we know, Krillin and all the other ones are way more powerful, having power levels of, you can argue, around 15,000 each, so they're knocking out the soldiers not much of a problem. Now Vegeta here, as we said before, Vegeta had a power level of around 36,000. Raditz originally had a power level around 225,000. With Vegeta training with Raditz and Goku for a week straight, pretty much, getting Zenkais, as Goku would have Senzu Beans with him from the help of Korin. As, remember, they didn't go up to Namek, so Korin will still have a few Senzu Beans left, a couple dozen, so he can give out to the other Earthlings and other people. Vegeta would get roughly 5 times stronger, having a power level 180. If Raditz got around 5 times stronger, he would have a power level of 1.25 million. And of course, with Son Goku, if he got 5 times stronger too, he would have a power level of around 12.5 million. With this being said, the fight would then continue on, as both of them were easily defeating everybody else in their way. The Ginyu Force was there as well, as Vegeta would actually handle it. Now with Captain Ginyu, once when Vegeta would handle Raccoon, Birder, Jace, he would pretty much knock out everybody. Dodoria, Zarbon, and Kui, and a pool, they would have no chance. Captain Ginyu sees how powerful Vegeta is, and he would do the Change Now technique. Right on Vegeta. Changing bodies, Vegeta would then try and attack Raditz, who would easily defeat him, with Captain Ginyu not being used to the body as well. With this, Vegeta was defeated. Captain Ginyu would try to use the Change Now on Raditz, but Vegeta would then jump in the way and swap his body so he has his original body back, and he would then completely obliterate Captain Ginyu. Vegeta was a little bit damaged, but it was not that severe. As the fight would continue on, this would infuriate Frieza as he would finally reveal himself amongst the 3 Saiyans. Even Frieza in his first form, he would begin his assault as Vegeta was even able to hold his own a little bit against Frieza. This would cause Frieza to go into his second form. Goku was surprised to see how powerful he's gotten, but he's not as strong as him or Raditz yet. Now Raditz would actually have a pretty good fight with Frieza here, with the likes of Raditz of course trading blows back and forth with Frieza, only growing more powerful as the fight is going on. Frieza was completely shocked and completely furious how Raditz is able to basically hold his own against him even in his second form. Raditz would skip over, of course, and tell Frieza that he has more up his sleeve than before. As once when Frieza goes into his third form, he would start to overpower Raditz until Raditz would then burst into Kaioken times 2. This would then overpower third form Frieza. As third form Frieza was completely shocked, he would then go into his final form. Goku then notices that this is different. He's way more powerful than his original self. As most of Frieza's men is dead, the entire battle area is a landslide of just death, fire, and destruction. Everything else is completely obliterated, and it's pretty much a war zone and a wasteland. Frieza was furious, but he will do everything he can to get these Dragon Balls and have his wish. He does not care how long it will take for him to get it, but he will. Raditz will then fly in to attack Frieza, but Frieza here is a lot more powerful than his original self. He would overpower Raditz. Raditz here would then scream and go into Kaioken times 10, which would actually give him a big buff in power, and he would actually land a few hits on Frieza, but Frieza was not fazed by it as he was holding back. Raditz would be on the losing end until Frieza was getting ready to kill him before Goku would grab his wrist and throw him to the side. Frieza would then grab his wrist, as that hurt a little bit, and he would see that it was Son Goku. Frieza doesn't know who this fool is, or what he is. He seems to have a strange resemblance to that Saiyan all those years ago. He remembers it's Bardock. He must be an offspring of some kind, he must be, as there's, of course, no way that this monkey is going to even touch him, of course. With Goku having a power level of 12.5 million, fighting Frieza is a little bit more different as he's far more powerful than his original self, being able to attack Frieza full force. But, of course, Frieza's holding back. Going at half of his power, he would start to overpower Goku, which would surprise Raditz as he's never seen his brother on the losing end. Goku would then use the Kaioken technique, doing Kaioken times 5. That would then bump him up to 62 million, and he would start to fight back against Frieza, of course, even going up to Kaioken times 20 in the moment to fight him, having a power level of 250 million, but Goku knows of the warnings of Kaioken that King Kai taught him, as Goku wants to enjoy the fight, as Goku's holding back a lot of his actual power. As we know, Goku has a form that he can access to that gives him a white aura, but it's God Essence. As Frieza was completely furious the fact that Goku was easily overpowering him, they were trading blows back and forth, as Son Goku here was only growing stronger. They would begin trading blows back and forth more and more, as Frieza would then kick Goku through a few trees, and Son Goku would then get right back up and tell Frieza that it's over, Frieza, you cannot defeat what I am. Son Goku would then begin charging up his power. And the transformation was similar to that of Super Saiyan Blue, but imagine it as his base form. And it just has the white aura instead of blue, and the blue hair dye Super Saiyan hair. His power level with God Essence is 62.5 billion. This would make him far stronger than Majin Buu, and far stronger than even a fusion potentially. This version of Goku is bustedly strong, as he would prove so by easily grabbing Frieza and telling him that there is no saving you, but I am going to give you one opportunity to leave, and never ever come back. Frieza was absolutely terrified, until another ship would then land. As Goku then dropped Frieza, who was defeated and had little to no energy left, it was none other than his father, King Cold. This version of King Cold would then see the battlefield and see, well, I guess my son was defeated that easily. He would offer Goku to join him. Goku would very quickly say no, as King Cold loved seeing his power. It was beautiful to him. He could have been one of the most powerful beings in the universe. He could have ruled like a god, but he made his choice. As King Cold's men would have ran around, of course, fighting the other Z fighters, the issue here is that the Z fighters have a much more harder time because they're tired fighting all those Frieza soldiers. Now, we don't know the official power levels for King Cold, but we know that King Cold has a power level similar to that of Frieza, having a power level of around 100 million. Remember that he's in his second form, and the likes of Frieza only got way more stronger because of this. Frieza, of course, at his full strength, roughly got around, if you can also throw in the fact of his full power state as well, you can go in 100%, that Frieza from his second form to his final form got around 80 times stronger. So this would mean that King Cold, having a power level, if you can say 100 million, times 80, you would have a power level of roughly around 8 billion. But even if he did, that would be nothing to the power level of 62 billion by Son Goku. King Cold would then showcase his full power in his final form to Son Goku as the fight would then begin, with the likes of Son Goku easily defeating King Cold, not having too much of a problem against him. King Cold was running out of options. He knows that his elder son has this, as he helped him. King Cold would then go into his fifth form. This is the true form of their species and their full power, as this version of this form has greatly increased his power, giving him a power level of roughly around 60 billion. The fight between Goku and King Cold would shake the entire universe, as their battle was immense. Goku for the first time was actually having a true challenge, and Goku was loving it. He was so happy that he could fight somebody at full strength without holding back. Though it was tough for King Cold, as King Cold can't sense energy either way, and even if he did, Son Goku cannot be sensed as he has God Ki. So Goku would then teleport behind King Cold, grabbing his armored tail and throwing him through the planet Earth. King Cold would then jump back up and charge up 2 supernovas in his hand, throwing them right at Goku, as Goku would then grab them both and destroy them with his fingers. King Cold would be elated, as he has somebody that he can actually go full strength against. But the battle is clear, that he has no chance against him. He's the perfect being. He was designed to be the greatest being in the universe. Son Goku, by this point, can finally use tricks that he's never used before on King Cold. King Cold would then fly right in and deliver a powerful attack with his tail, as Goku would then put his 2 hands together. Something would then form in his hands, as Son Goku would then pull his hands apart and form a weapon made out of white energy. This weapon was a very similar weapon to basically a stick. It was very similar to his original magic power pole that he had, and the same as before, but he's really good with this weapon. As the power pole would then extend, it was white in power, but it was basically powered by a god. Goku would then spin the power pole around and fly right in and hit King Cold right across the face, splitting a part of his face open, making him bleed from his mouth. King Cold would be shocked that he can summon weapons like that from his hands. How is that possible? King Cold would then fly right in, and he would then cut right through the power pole, hitting Goku right in the face, and then King Cold would then grab his neck with his tail, crushing his throat. Goku here would then begin struggling. As then his hand would begin glowing, he would form a Keyblade and slice a part of his tail off, making King Cold scream in agony as he would jump back and then kick Goku right to the ground. As King Cold would then dare him, how dare he cut his tail off, he would then begin charging up a massive solar system destroying attack right at Goku, telling him to catch this. He would then throw it right at Goku, as Goku would then grab the attack screaming in pain and struggle, very similar to when he caught the supernova against Cooler. Goku would begin pushing this back, as his muscles would then bulge, as Goku was using the true power of his god energy. As of course, Goku would then fire a massive beam of energy right through the attack, and it would hit King Cold full force, sending King Cold right into outer space. Goku was pretty exhausted from the battle, as King Cold would then land, as he was very injured but still alive. Goku was in his base form, as there wasn't much more that he can do to help fight, as King Cold still had plenty of power to fight Goku left. Goku here is running out of options. He does have one idea. He would then look to his brother Raditz, as he was weak enough, and he would tell him, "Raditz, let's do the thing together." Raditz knows what he's talking about, but the problem is Raditz is not powerful enough, the fusion will be too weak. But who is one person that's not that injured? Vegeta. During this time, the Z Fighters would actually be fighting with Raditz helping King Cold, as Frieza by this point has scurried off and escaped the planet, as Frieza was too terrified. As of course King Cold was distracted by using the solar flare with the help of Krillin and Tien, Goku would then explain to Vegeta, as both of them were near equal power now, having power level a couple 100,000, they were pretty much even. And he would tell Vegeta about the fusion dance. He learned it very shortly right after he left from the Metamorians in the afterlife. They're not perfect at it, but they don't have a choice. Vegeta would not do some embarrassing dance, he would rather die. Goku would tell him, "So you would let your darling Bulma and your unborn child die?" Vegeta would then grit his teeth and tell him, "How do you know about that?" Goku said that I can sense it. Vegeta would then not have a choice, as they're somewhere private. They would begin to do the fusion dance. As now, they did it perfectly the first time, and they would fuse into Gogeta. We don't know the official multiplier for Gogeta here, but if Goku and Vegeta both had a power level similar to a couple 100,000, let's say 300,000, put together, of course, you can say that they got 100 times stronger with fusion. That would basically put the two at around 600,000 times 100 would be 60 million. Not to mention the fact that Goku can use God Essence to help. Now, of course, this is just lowballing it. Now, with Gogeta here, he would then fight King Cold. As King Cold had a power level of around 40 to 30 million, he was severely injured. He would then be easily defeated by Gogeta, not having much of a chance. He would land some blows, but Gogeta was too powerful, as he would then charge up a Gallic Kamehameha wave, hitting King Cold full force, which would completely obliterate him. This same beam attack would then fly right out into outer space and almost hit Frieza's ship as he was flying past, as Frieza would then be completely destroyed. Frieza would barely be able to survive in the vacuum of space, as we know he can. He would then drift off into space, but he was alive. Now, with King Cold dead, they would defuse, as peace was finally restored to planet Earth. They would use the Dragon Balls to fix any issues or anybody that was killed. They also remember planet Namek, and King Kai would tell them about it, as they would push back everybody that was killed on planet Namek. The planet Namek was forever in their debt, as planet Namek was saved as well. Frieza was drifting out into space, far out, until Frieza would then land on an isolated planet. Of course, it was a civilized planet, more like a wastelandish planet. He would then land severely injured, as these people would then surround him and grab him, helping him out. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank y'all for watching. How do you guys enjoy a 40-minute What If part? I had a lot of fun doing it. Stay tuned for the next part, as we're going to see the side of Frieza that you guys have never seen before with the help of Goku. But anyway, I appreciate all the support. You guys are the best, and I'll talk to you all later.